Hi, I'm Megan Lee with CCM Magazine, here with my special guest. His name is Jason Crabb, of course. He's from the famous Crabb family. They're musical, but he's not just an award-winning artist. He's also a father, he's a husband, and he ministers to people through his testimony and his music. Welcome.
Megan, thank you for letting me be here today. How are you?
So well. It's great to be back in the studio. We were
Yeah.
just talking about the plexiglass dividers that we don't have to deal with for now anymore. So I'm just happy to have you guys in here. You guys did a great acoustic set, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But first, I wanted to ask you about the last year. Let's kind of roll off of 2020. So I
Okay.
know that you've got probably plenty to share. So where do we start?
So here's where we start. You started with my family. That's kind of where
Yeah.
I started. I traveled with my family for 14 years, the Crabb family. So thankful for that season in my life, that growing period. A lot of people go to college, to get their degree in what they're going to do. We just started a family group
Yeah.
and took it out, and that
You got
was
the
our
real
college.
life college, yeah.
Yeah, so I've got my, just as far as you can go in your degree, 14 years of on the road with your family
Wow.
in a bus. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. We did that. In 2020, when we kicked it off, I talked with my family because we were going to do a tour and said we ought to do a record. And so we called the record 2020, which
I'd cite the association.
I
might
sure
be.
would love to have changed the title to that record. But, we did January and February where we toured. We did our final date, I think it was in March. We did like 11 to 12 dates. That's all we did.
Yeah.
Soon as that tour was over with, that's when everything bottomed out. Everybody knows. The music industry took an incredible hit. People that were so used to touring, and a lot of people think just of artists. The behind the scenes
Yeah.
took a bigger hit than the artist even did. So like, your stage-hands, just the
People who run the
sound and
venue,
lights and venues and everyone, band members, that maybe they weren't in a band, they were people that were hired out to play for the tours.
Right.
And it was just incredible what they went through.
Yeah.
And so during that moment, I just bought a bus. I just bought
You're
a new
ready
bus.
to go.
I just bought a brand new bus. I'd
nowhere
only
to go.
I know. Only had it.
That's a song.
Right. Only had it making for about 8 months, and we had to park it, and still had to pay for it.
Yeah.
Still had all the other stuff to take care of, and you're sitting here going, "What do I do?"
Yeah.
And you know what? God gave us a plan, and so I jumped in my car, and got my guitar, and I drove around to places where a lot of people wouldn't be able to afford to bring in the full band and the bus and the tour and all that, but there's churches and venues that wanted to reopen.
Right.
And I said, "Hey, if you want us, we're coming."
Kind of went back to that grassroots.
Yes, we did.
Wow.
Played 175 dates
Wow.
since September of 2020
Yeah.
to now.
Yeah.
And so just to help people get started.
How did that feel though, coming off of such a different tour style to get back to that kind of, it's like reverting back to where you started, where it all starts?
There's a passion, number one, with what we were going through.
Yeah.
You were singing from a different place. It didn't matter if there was something that you didn't do exactly right. You just wasn't thinking about that.
Right.
You were thinking about trying to minister to the people that were out there in the audience. Sometimes it would be, honestly, realistically, I'm not evangelistically speaking, I'm going to be real. There's sometimes there would be 50, 60 people in a building that hadn't been opened. And here we are trying to help these pastors get reopened. And I was doing it with a comedian. We called it a Good Night Out tour. It was Mickey Bell and I. And so we went out and did that. Sometimes there would be 700 people show up. Some places would be, 125. And so we didn't expect anything.
Yeah.
We were just going out and trying to help. And through that and trying to help others, God helped us to be able to sustain what we had, to keep and hold on to what we had, to see people's lives change and blessed and touched. People that were going through hell on earth, that had lost family, that had been through lost businesses. Here we are singing to them, playing the songs,
What a gift to be the vessel to touch people's lives and speak into them. That must be, it's amazing, actually.
I felt like that's really what we got back to, really what God really called us to.
Right.
You can get so caught up in the lights and the smoke and the new way to play a song.
Right.
And, all the notes to hit and, which side of the stage you're going to move on this one and,
Right.
what's going to happen versus, I need this lyric to pull me through.
Yeah.
I need this to help this person that's about to give up completely on everything.
Yeah.
I need to present this song to them and help them. And so that's where it went to. And so in the middle of that, okay, now we're doing a new record.
Yeah, I figured. It sounds like I was going to ask, that's what I was going to ask next, is like, there's a lot coming from you. I could feel the emotion of going through that. Of course, you are going to pull something out of that. What did you do?
So here's what happens. In July, I get COVID.
Oh, no.
My family gets COVID. A bunch of people around me get it. And so we all go through it. The family goes through it. Everybody's going through it. My wife and kids, they did good. They did really well. My daughter, she came down. She was upstairs and she came down and she opened the refrigerator door and she grabbed a piece of celery. And she bit into a piece of celery and she sat down on the floor and she said, "Oh no, I've got it too." Because she hates celery. She hates celery. She couldn't taste it. That was her guide, that was her. So anyway,
that's funny.
So we went and all got tested and they did good. It kicked me pretty good.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is the way God wires me, or the way He wired me, and what makes me tick, is now I'm calling all the people that have it, and I'm not feeling well at all, but I'm moving, and I'm calling them and going, "Hey, get up."
Yeah.
Get up and move. You
Yeah.
got to get outside, get some vitamin D. Are you drinking enough? Get some Pedialyte. Get whatever that you need. So I'm coaching people. Me wanting to lay down and just, I'm feeling horrible. But the drive, the way God wired me, is to pull and push others.
Yeah.
That was the thing that
That
helped
also
me.
feeds you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I still have effects from it.
Yeah.
Like far as like, sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'll just take a deep breath and go, oh, the feeling comes back, which is no good. And then I was a huge Coca-Cola drinker, which I know I shouldn't be.
Do you put peanuts in your Coke?
No, I don't. But maybe that'll help. Maybe that's what I should do now.
I don't think that helps.
But it tastes horrible.
Yeah.
It tastes horrible. I still haven't got
this
that
might
back.
be a blessing in disguise.
I haven't drank a Coke in a while.
There you go.
I'll try it because I loved it.
Right.
But it tastes like I've soaked a handful of pennies
Oh, that's
all night
strange.
long
No.
in the Coke. I'm serious.
This might add years to your life. This might actually be a good adverse effect.
See? And so there'll be times when I'll pass by people that now this is strange. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I'll pass by someone and I'll smell it.
That's weird.
I know. I don't know if it is or like it's something that triggers that reminds me of when I had it.
Yeah.
But like I can walk by, like the other day, I was at a concert and this person walked by me and I went, ooh. I was like, I didn't want to tell them. I was like, but I don't know if it was their cologne or maybe the Lord was saying about staying away from that one,
Right.
No, but so anyway, during all of that, we decided after July, after I'd been through COVID, Jay DeMarcus from Red Street,
Yeah.
Rascal Flatts, started a label. I'm
And you
with him.
just started to participate. Then, of course, so talking about that, how has it been working and using the new label and him also being the producer? Tell me all of that, because obviously born out of this adversity came your new project, and that's what we're kind of segueing into, is Just As I Am, which I heard 2 songs.
Right.
So heartfelt.
Oh.
Couldn't even tell that you have any adverse effects from COVID. And maybe, in fact, it's giving you a little bit more of that raspy boost to your voice, and also that pushing power of just feeling that spirit that's coming from these songs. So tell us more about the new EP and where you're pulling all this material from.
Well, you know, Red Street had went through the same thing about the same time that I was going through it. And we got through it. 2 months later, we're all meeting. We're all going, okay, we've already started writing for the record before all of this. Then we started listening to songs. Jay said, let's get in the studio. Let's cut this thing. Let's work on this. While we feel like we need to share our hearts with people and encourage them, and that's the one thing that I loved about working with Jay and with Don and Mark and all the team over there. They caught on to, hey, this is the moment that God put us in to help others.
Yeah.
And so this is why we're doing a Christian label.
Yeah.
This is why we're doing Christian music. This is the hope and the message of Jesus Christ. So let's go in the studio. And to be honest with you, man, one of the other things that bothered me was the fog. The brain
fog.
was awful. And so I was like, Lord, you got to have to help me. And I could feel it in the studio. There was a little more struggle.
Yeah.
There was a little more mental battle.
Yeah.
So I'm battling through that, trying to push through and do the record as well. And so, I really felt the adversity.
Yeah.
Doing this record probably as much as anything I've ever done.
Which is saying a lot. You've had a crazy, tumultuous, busy, exciting career, but peppered with all these, I've heard so many testimonies about personal things that you've gone through in your life that you also get up and share with people and minister to people through and invite people into. So that's not a small thing to say, is that this was had that type of gravity for you. So what did you pull out of that exactly?
Well, you just hope and pray that the Lord would anoint, number one, that He would choose to give favor. When I read my word, I read the Word of God, and I usually, sometimes I try to write prayers afterwards. Not every time. I don't want anybody to think that, but I try to write my prayer down. And a lot of times I'll be like, Lord, if it be your will, put favor over this. Put favor. And that's what I'm praying. Lord, if this is what you want, would you put your favor on it? Because I can do everything, but if it's not God's favor, if it's not what He wants, then it doesn't make a difference.
Right.
I mean, I can work all day long, but if He sprinkles it with His favor and gives favor with people, I can try to make you like me, right? All day long. But at the end of the day, you still might find something that you go, that Jason, I don't know, he just, you know. But if the Lord allows our spirits to connect, then I get favor with you and go, you know what? When you leave here, you go, hey, you need to listen to this song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and that's a lesson I've heard a lot from 2020 as well. There's a control that you have to let go of.
That's
and God uses, through things that sometimes we don't understand in the moment, He uses things to remind us whose we are and who we need to trust.
Absolutely.
And it's Him that we need to put there.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you really were pulling some of that out and kind of dipping back into that well.
Yeah.
So some of the songs that you sang live and you did acoustic versions and you kind of knocked down the walls a little bit in here. I think our neighbors might have heard you as well.
Sorry about that.
No.
It's like,
You guys were...
I told you, I was like, okay, here's the deal. These songs that we're doing, there's no way to just hold back, so let's rip.
Well, you did Heart Wide Open.
Yeah.
And so beautiful, it speaks for
Thank you.
itself. And you
Wish I
also
wrote
did
it.
Just As I Am. Well, and how wonderful that you get to share that somebody who wrote something so touching. So tell us about those songs, tell us about the other songs on your EP, and also tell us about where we can go find them and keep finding you. It sounds like you've been on the road at smaller venues,
Yeah.
but now we're kind of opening back
We're
up.
opening back
Yeah.
up, so we're doing festivals now.
Yeah.
We're getting back to larger crowds, larger venues. The band's coming back out. The bus is fired back up.
The bus that was parked is
Yes,
back in
the one
back
that
in here.
the one I had to pay for that was sitting up in the parking lot. You talking about ugly?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful bus, but sitting in a parking lot and then you're not getting to use it.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. Everything's kind of moving. That's great. The songs, you know, there's songs that we wrote for this record. One of them was called Before, and I go back and listen to it now, and it just gives me, honestly, it gives me chills that God would give us a song like that.
Wow.
Before we went through, we wrote it before we went through this pandemic, before the shutdown, before, 2020 really hit us in the face. And it just plainly talks about, it's easy to praise you on the victory side of
Right.
the trial, on the victory side of the battle. It's easier to praise you when you see all of the things that you have done for us. But I want to praise you before the prayer is answered, before the battle's won, before this trial is over, before the healing comes. I lift my hands and praise you before. And that song's there. Heart Wide Open, I absolutely love that because, the first line says, you've already seen my mess. And I tell people that all the time. Like when I have people pray with me, I'm like, okay, we're nothing but a mess.
Right.
We're a big mess. Every one of us, even the people that you think have it all together, like there's people in your childhood or people in your life that you go, okay, that's the godliest person that
Right.
I know. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But Jesus said to the disciples and the people that were around him, he said this. He said, it is written, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not do all these things. He said, but I say, if you think them, you've already done them.
Right.
And I use this all the time in churches. I'm like, so what that means is there's none of us that is
Right.
good enough. There's none of us that has it together. There's none of us that, we all need Jesus
Yes.
at every moment of every second of our life. And this is the example I use. I said, how many would like to have on the big screen today here at this church your name and all of the bad thoughts that you thought just today?
Yeah. Wow.
Just today, just the bad thoughts that you had on the screen. I said, I guarantee you, if we did them in alphabetical order, we wouldn't get to the B's. This church would be empty, but it's true.
Yeah.
So it puts us all on even playing field.
Yeah.
You've already seen my
Perspective.
mess. You've already shown me mercy. I'm coming to you with a heart wide open. I want to serve a God. That's the Jesus that I want people to know. That's because
And that they are known. That's sometimes we think that we're actually hiding and we're not.
No.
And he does see us and still loves us.
oh, he loves you, period.
Ah, what a
Period,
wonderful
he
reminder.
loves you. Yeah. So that, just as I am, same deal, same kind of message, and that's really what we really wanted with this record. The important thing is people get to Jesus.
Yes.
Get to Jesus. Not to anything else. Get to Jesus.
Wow, that's an amazing thing to pull out of a very tumultuous year, and obviously going through all the aspects of what 2020 had to bring. So not just having your job kind of taken away, but also actually contracting COVID and having your world kind of flipped upside down. So what a beautiful gift to be able to bestow on the world through such a trying time, and we're so glad that you share your musical talents with all of us here.
We're just pulling together, aren't we, hon?
We are just trying to pull it all together. Well, like I said, you can check out Jason Crabb's live performances on CCM. You can also go to his website. It's jasoncrabb.com.
Yep.
And there will be listings, I'm assuming, of obviously how you can find your music and hopefully more tour dates.
Yeah. So any place, I would love for people to just to go download, listen. If you're on all the formats of Spotify, Apple Music, whatever that it is that you listen to, iTunes, YouTube, CCM, whatever, you're going to find the little
Icon.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
What'd
icon. I said it with my semi-fake Southern accent because I'm from the North, but icon, I said.
Yeah, I like it. So you find that there, download it, listen to it. You can go and watch it on YouTube as well and get the lyric video, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
We also did a couple of videos for YouTube as well for Just As I Am. We did a video with Natalie Decker, she's in the Xfinity NASCAR series.
Okay.
So we had our big face on the hood of a NASCAR going down around.
Well, that makes me wonder if you actually participated this weekend at all with
downtown?
racing. Yeah.
No, I was in Pennsylvania. I would love to have been there.
In case anybody who's listening doesn't know, Nashville did have a Grand Prix race.
I would love to have seen that.
To be honest with you, I didn't believe anybody when they first told me that people were going to be racing through our city. I was like, absolutely not. That sounds like Mario Kart. But
and it
in
was.
Our city, and it really was.
And it was.
And it was true.
You know, not all of those people. The people, they saw the videos of everyone on those little scooters, you know, those little things, and they're like, hey, we want some of that fun. And so they brought their cars.
Well, it was amazing sitting here with you, and we can't wait to hear more about where this EP goes and where your new connection with your new label goes, and just excited to see
I love
all
Red
the
Street.
things. Yeah.
I love those people there. They are doing incredible things. They're doing incredible work. We're all new at this, but they know.
You give it to God and you figure it out.
Absolutely, and I love. Here's the thing that I love about Red Street. They're outside the box. Not a lot of people are going to take their artists and put them on the hood of a NASCAR. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This man knows what he's doing. I mean, he's sold millions and millions and millions of records with the Rascal Flatts, and he's like, I want to give back. This is where I started.
Wow.
I want to be back into Christian music. And so I'm so very thankful to be a part of that. Thankful to be a part of what you do. Thank you for letting me be here. Look,
so
no
separator.
No separators.
And no more, well, we'll see what happens with the masking. So thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you.